Unday bo'lsa, part 2ni eshitishni boshlaymiz. Men audioni hozir qo'yaman, e'tiborni beramiz. Qani ketdik.
Part 2. You will hear a tour guide, Lou Miller, speaking to a group of people about a boat trip they are going to take around the Australian island of Tasmania. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14.
So, hello everyone. My name's Lou Miller, and I'm going to be your tour guide today as we take this fantastic boat trip around the Tasmanian coast. Before we set off, I just want to tell you a few things about our journey. Our boats aren't huge, as you can see. We already have 3 staff members on board, and on top of that, we can transport a further 15 people, that's you, around the coastline. But please note, if there are more than 9 people on either side of the boat, we'll move some of you over.
9 people. Ajoyib ekan. Aytyapti, men 15 ta aytdi. 15 tadan ko'p insonni o'tkazishimiz mumkin, transfer qilishimiz mumkin.
As all 18 of us will end up in the sea. We've recently upgraded all our boats. They used to be jet black, but our new ones now have these comfortable dark red seats and a light green exterior in order to stand out from others and help promote our company. This gives our boats a rather unique appearance, don't you think? We offer you a free lunchbox during the trip, and we have 3 types. Lunchbox 1 contains ham and tomato sandwiches. Lunchbox 2 contains a cheddar cheese roll. And Lunchbox 3 is salad-based and also contains eggs and tuna. All 3 lunchboxes also have a packet of crisps and chocolate bar inside. Please let staff know which lunchbox you prefer. I'm sure I don't have to ask you not to throw anything into the sea. We don't have any bins to put litter in, but Jess, myself, or Ray, our other guide, will collect it from you after lunch and put it all in a large plastic sack.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 15 to 20.
Keling shu yerda izoh berib o'tib ketang. Men 11da 15, 18 hammasini aytdim. Nimaga men 9da javobda aytdim? Bu yerda aytayapti-ki, qayiqning bir tarafiga maksimal nechta inson tura oladi? 9 ta. 9 tadan ortiq inson qayiqning bir tarafiga turmasin dedi. 15 ta nimani aytdi? Bu kema 15 tadan ortiq insonni olib o'ta oladi dedim. 18 da nimani aytdi? 18 agar 9 kishidan ortiq inson qayiqning bir tarafiga tursa, 18 talarimizni hammamiz dengizga cho'kib ketamiz dedi. Demak, qayiqda 18 ta odam bor. U 15 kishidan ortiq odamni olib o'tishga mo'ljallangan va qayiqning bir tarafiga maksimal 9 tadan ortiq inson turishi mumkin emas. Javob A. 12da nima uchun S javobni oldim? What color are the tower boats? Tower boatning rangi nima deyapti? Rangi qanaqa? Tashqi ko'rinishining rangi qanaqa deyapti? Aytyapti, oldin dark red seats bor deyapti. Qizil o'rindiqlar bor deyapti. O'rindiq bu qayiqning rangimi? Rangi bo'la oladimi o'rindiq qayiqda? Yo'q, bo'lmaydi. Jet black nimadir dedi-da, shu yerda jet black, u ham qayiqda ichki qanaqadir nimasini aytdi, lekin qayiqning rangini aytmadi. Yo'q, jet blackda oldin jet black edi qayiqni rangi dedi. Ha, oldin qayiqni rangi jet black edi, keyin biz uni light green qildik. Hozir exterior deyapti, tashqisi rangi light green deyapti. Shundan bizdan hozirgi vaqtdagi rangini so'rayapti. Shundan light green degan javobni oldik. U oldin jet black bo'lgan, hozir esa light green va qizil o'rindiqlari bor bo'lgan light green qayiq. Okey, unday bo'lsa 13 ta uzoqlab beraman. 3-chi javob B bo'ladi. A variantda aytilgan ovqatlar tarkibida go'sht bor, C variantda aytilgan ovqatlarda ham tarkibida go'sht bor va B dagi mos keladi. Shuning uchun. Keyin 14 da aytdi. Bizda birinchi bo'lib C ni o'yindan chiqarib tashladim. Nimaga C o'yindan chiqib ketadi? Chunki put it in the bins provide on the boat deb ketganmi? U aytyapti, bizning qayiqda hech qanday musor tashlaydigan idish yo'q deyapti. Demak, C uje o'yindan chiqib ketadi. C ni uje olib tashlash kerak. Keyin aytdi, uni member of staffga bering deyapti. Ishchilarimizning biriga bering deyapti. Demak, javob B va A o'zi avtomatik o'yindan chiqib ketadi. Endi mana bu 15 va 16 larni bajaramiz.
Now listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
The engine on the boat makes quite a lot of noise, so before we head off, let me tell you a few things about what you're going to see. This area is famous for its ancient lighthouse, which you'll see from the boat as we turn past the first little island. It was built in 1838 to protect sailors, as a number of shipwrecks had led to significant loss of life. The construction itself was complicated, as some of the original drawings kept by the local council show. It sits right on top of the cliffs in a very isolated spot. In the 19th century, there were many jobs there, such as polishing the brass lamps, chopping firewood, and cleaning windows that kept lighthouse keepers busy. These workers were mainly prison convicts until the middle of that century, when ordinary families willing to live in such circumstances took over. Some of you have asked me what creatures we can expect to see. I know everyone loves the penguins, but they're very shy and unfortunately tend to hide from passing boats. But you might see birds in the distance, such as sea eagles, flying around the cliff edges where they nest. When we get to the rocky area inhabited by fur seals, we'll stop and watch them swimming around the coast. They're inquisitive creatures, so don't be surprised if one pops up right in front of you. Their predators, orca whales, hunt along the coastline too, but spotting one of these is rare. Dolphins, on the other hand, can sometimes approach on their own or in groups as they ride the waves beside us. Lastly, I want to mention the caves. Tasmania is famous for its caves, and the ones we'll pass by are so amazing that people are lost for words when they see them. They can only be approached by sea, but if you feel that you want to see more than we're able to show you, then you can take a kayak into the area on another day, and one of our staff will give you more information on that. What we'll do is to go through a narrow channel past some incredible rock formations, and from there we'll be able to see the openings to the caves, and at that point we'll talk to you about what lies beyond.
That is the end of part 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 2.
Mana part 2 ham tugadi. Biz bu yerda 11 dan 20 gacha bo'lgan savollarga javob berib o'tib ketdik. Mana endi izohlab beraman. 15 va 16 da. Which two features lighthouse does Lou mention? Lou nimani aytib o'tib ketdi lighthouse haqida? Nima uchun qurilganligini aytib o'tib ketdi. Qayiqlar halokatga uchrab, o'limlar soni oshib ketgani uchun qurildi degan narsani aytib o'tib ketdi. Ma'nodagi gapdi. Shuning uchun ani oldim. Why it was built. Keyin kim qurgani, nima uchun buni olmadim. B nima uchun o'yindan chiqib ketadi. Who built it? Kim qurgani haqida hech qanday gap aytmadi. Keyin qancha vaqt ketgan qurilishga, buni ham aytgani yo'q. Lekin D variantda aytdi. Shuning uchun. Keyin 17 bilan 18 da qaysi ikki turdagi hayvon qayiqlarga yaqinlasha oladi dedi. A variant nima uchun chiqib ketyapti? Sea eagles, dengiz burgutlari. Ular uzoqdan ko'rasiz deyapti. Dengiz burgutlarini uzoqdan ko'rasiz. Osmonda uchib yuradi deyapti, lekin qayiqqa yaqinlashadi demayapti. Shuning uchun A chiqib ketyapti. Nima uchun D ni olmadim? Chunki D aytilgani yo'q. Pingvinslar ham kelmaydi, yaqinlashmaydi deyapti. Buni bilan sini nimaga oldim? Inquisitive dolphins deyapti. Qiziqqon delfinlar yaqinlashadi, keyin dengiz mushuklari yaqinlashadi dedi. Shuning uchun B va sini oldim. Bu yerda ABSlarning birontasini to'liq aytmadi, lekin D ni aytib o'tib ketdi. Bitta member a'zomiz sizlarga izohlab tushuntirib berishadi dedi va u yerga tor kanallarga g'adir-budur toshli yo'llar borda. Shuning uchun cannot be reached on foot degan narsaga sinonim bo'la oladi. Shuning uchun D va E ni oldik. Unday bo'lsa, mana hozir part 3 ni bajaramiz endi. Avval part 3 haqida ma'lumot. Bu ham xuddi shu part 2 bilan bir xil. 3 ta variant bo'ladi, bittasi to'g'ri bo'ladi. Faqat savolga yaxshilab nima so'ralayotganiga tushunib olishingiz kerak. Chunki ABC javoblarning hammasini aytib o'tadi. Work experience for veterinary science students. Work experience degan tajriba bo'libdi. Qaysiki o'sha hayvonlar doktori bo'ladi-mi, veterinar. O'sha doktorlarning studentlar chet elda shunaqa narsa bor, realniy borib o'sha yerdan tajriba o'rganadi. O'sha narsa work experience deyiladi. Endi katta ehtimollik bilan bu yerda dialog bo'ladi, suhbat bo'ladi ikkita inson o'rtasida. Part 3 da asosan shunaqa savol bo'ladi. Ikkita inson o'rtasida suhbat bo'ladi va savollarda ko'pida aytiladi. Qaysi bir fikrga Diana qo'shilyapti, qaysi bir fikrga Tim qo'shiladi degan savollar beradi. Qani, men 21 dan nima savol so'rayapti ekan. What problem did Boz did? Boz degan ikkisi ham Diana and Tim have when arranging their work experience. Savolda so'rayapti. Diana va Timda ikkisida bir xil muammo paydo bo'lgan qachonki arranging their work experience. Arranging degan so'zni izohlab beraman. Arranging bu kelishish. Misol uchun bironta fermani topib, u bilan kelishish. Shu men sizlarga borib, sizlarning fermalaringizga borib tajriba olishim kerak. Shunaqa deydi. Arranging qiladi, kelishadi. O'shanda kelishishi kerak bo'lgan joyda Diana va Timda qanday muammo sodir bo'ldi? Bu muammo ikkalasidan sodir bo'lgan bo'lishi kerak. Agar Dianada sodir bo'lib, Timda sodir bo'lmagan bo'lsa, u javob bo'la olmaydi. Qani, mana A javobda aytayapti. Making initial contact with suitable forms. Initial contact degani boshida bog'lanishga qiynalishgan. Suitable forms o'zlariga to'g'ri keladigan fermalar bilan. 2. Organizing transport to and from the farm. Fermaga borish va qaytishda mashina problema bo'lganmi, transport muammo bo'lganmi deyapti. Sida aytilyapti finding a placement for the required length of time. Xullas, shu Tim was pleased to be able to help. 22da aytyapti Tim was pleased. Tim baxtli bo'ldi, o'zini zo'r his qildi qachonki able to help, nimagadir yordam berganda Tim o'zini juda yaxshi his qilgan. A lamb that had a broken leg. Oyog'ini sindirib olgan qo'yga yordam berishda. A sheep that was having difficulty giving birth. Qo'y bacha tug'ishga qiynalayotganda yordam bergan. A newly born lamb that was having trouble feeding. Yangi tug'ilgan qo'zichoqni ovqatlantirishda muammolarni hal qilgan. 23. Diana says that sheep on her farm. Diana aytayaptiki, uning fermasidagi qo'ylar, sheep on her farm, fermasidagi qo'ylar were various different varieties. E'tibor beramiz. Were of various different varieties. Different varieties degani turli xil, turli tuman. Fermasidagi qo'ylar were mainly reared. Asosan reared boqiladi for their meat, go'shi uchun. Had better quality wool. Yaxshi juni uchun boqiladi qo'ylar. Then sheep on the hills. Then taqqoslash bo'lyapti. Shu so'zga e'tibor beringizlar. Then dedimi? Sheep on the hills. On the hills degan sheeplar bilan, qo'ylar bilan, tog'dagi qo'ylar bilan taqqoslaydi. Odatiy qo'ylar bilan taqqoslash kerak. Okay, 24. What did students learn about adding supplements to chicken feed? Adding supplements degan qo'shimchalar qo'shish feed ovqatiga, tovuqning ovqatiga qo'shimchalar qo'shish. What did, nima o'rganishdi? Qo'shimchalar qo'shish kerakmi, kerak emasmi? Shu nimani o'rgandi talabalar? This should only be given if special needed. Supplementslar faqatgina kerak bo'lgandagina qo'shilishi kerak deyapti. Special needed. Okay, special needed. Eslab qolamiz. It is worth arziydi paying extra for the most effective ones. The amount given at one time should be limited. Limited bo'lishi kerak. Nima? Time. Berish alga o'sha supplement berish oralig'ida time limiti bo'lishi kerak, chegarasi. What happened when Diana was working with dairy cows? Dairy cows degani sut beradigan sigirlar. What happened? Nima sodir bo'ldi? Diana ishlab yurganida. She identified some cows incorrectly. Okay. She accidentally threw some milk away. Accidentally. Tasodifan threw some milk. Tasodifan to'kib yubordi. C. She made a mistake when storing milk. Storing milk degani sutni saqlash. What did both farmers mention about vets and farming? Ikkalasi ham ishlagan joydagi farmerlar veterinarlar haqida nimadir deyishgan. A. Vets are failing to cope with some aspects of animal health. Failing to cope deganda davolashda, umuman kasalligini aniqlashda yiqilyapti. Cope degani eplamoq, eplay olmoq. I don't cope without him degani men usiz eplolmayman degani. Cope degani eplamoq. Eplamoq. With some aspects of animals' health, there needs to be fundamental change in the training of vets. Some jobs could be done by farmers rather than by vet. S'ga e'tibor beramiz. Could be done. Could be done degani bajarila oladi fermerlar tomonidan. Qaysidir ishlar fermerlar tomonidan bajarila oladi, yaxshiroq deyapti. Rather degan so'zga e'tibor beramiz. Then by vet. Veterinarlar tomonidan fermerlar nimadir ishni yaxshiroq bajaradi deyapti. Rather. Okay, endi 27 ni ko'raylikchi. 27 dan mana 30 gacha savollar, 3 ta savol. Bunday savol turlari biroz qiyin hisoblanadi. Biroz C2 darajadagi savol turi mana shular. C2 degani IELTS 9 degani. What opinion do the students give about each of the following modules of their veterinary science course? Bu savolning ma'nosi shundaki, bu yerda medical terminology degan. Medical terminology. Diet and nutrition, ovqatlanish, animal disease, hayvonlar kasalligi, wildlife medication. Xullas, mana shu medical terminologyga aloqador ikkita inson suhbatlashadi va medical terminologyga oid bo'lgan gapni aytib o'tib ketadi. U A bo'lishi mumkin, B bo'lishi mumkin, C bo'lishi mumkin, D bo'lishi mumkin, E bo'lishi mumkin, F bo'lishi mumkin. Yana e'tibor bersangiz, savollar 4 ta, 1 2 3 4 ta. Bu yerda esa variantlar 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 ta. Demak, ikkitasi ortiqcha. Qaysi ikkitasi ortiqcha men bilmayman. Ikkitasi ortiqcha. U trap deyiladi, qopqon. Siz misol uchun 3 tasini javobini aniq topsangiz, bitta oxirida qolib ketsa, 30 ta javobi E ekan deb aniq qilishingiz mumkin-da. Shuning uchun ataylab ortiqchasini qo'yib qo'yasiz. Siz adashishingiz kerak, siz yiqilishingiz kerak, siz yana qaytadan $200 to'lab IELTS topshirishingiz kerak. Bu maxsus o'ylab chiqilgan chalg'itish sistemasi. Chunki siz qancha ko'p yiqilsangiz, IELTS British Council uchun shuncha foyda. Birinchidan, dunyoda IELTS o'zini obro'sini saqlab turadi. U IELTS qiyin ekan degan dunyo qarashni saqlab turadi. Ikkinchidan, siz yana bir marta IELTS topshirishingiz kerak bo'ladi va bu yana $200. Har taraflama foyda siz yiqilishingiz. Shuning uchun har xil qopqon alginaqalar o'ylab topiladi. Shu narsalarga ehtiyot bo'lasiz. Bularni yaxshilab o'qib tushunib olish kerak. Tim found this is easier than expected. Tim o'g'il bolaning ismida, audioda o'g'il bolaning ismiga e'tibor berib turasiz. Tim found this easier than expected. Kutilganidan osonroq bo'ldi. Nima? Kutilganidan osonroq bo'lgan bo'lishi mumkin. Medical terminology mi, diet and nutrition mi topasiz. Tim thought, o'yladi. This was not very clearly organized. Yaxshi tashkillashtirilmagan. Tim o'ylagan. Diana may do some further study on this. Kelajakda Diana may some further study on this. Kelajakda Diana ko'proq o'qishi mumkin. Shu narsa ustida. Tak. They both found the reading required for this was difficult. They both deyapti. Ularning ikkisi ham found reading required for this was difficult. Qiyin bo'ldi. Qiyin bo'lganlik haqida gapiradimi yo'qmi? Tim was shocked. Hayratlandi at something he learned on the module. On this module. Hayratlanish kerak, Tim. They were both surprised how little is known about some aspects of this. They were both surprised. How little known, qancha kam ma'lumot bilinadi on this aspect, jihatlar. Okay. Mana endi audiosini qo'yaman, bir chekkasidan bajaramiz. Qani ketdik.
Part 3. You will hear two veterinary science students called Diana and Tim discussing their work placements and their course modules. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
So, Tim, we have to do a short summary of our work experience on a farm.
Right. My farm was great, but arranging the work experience was hard. One problem was it was miles away and I don't drive. And also, I'd really wanted a placement for a month, but I could only get one for 2 weeks.
I was lucky. The farmer let me stay on the farm, so I didn't have to travel. But finding the right sort of farm to apply to wasn't easy.
No, they don't seem to have websites, do they? I found mine through a friend of my mother's, but it wasn't easy.
No.
My farm was mostly livestock, especially sheep. I really enjoyed helping out with them. I was up most of one night helping a sheep deliver a lamb.
On your own?
No, the farmer was there, and he told me what to do. It wasn't a straightforward birth, but I managed. It was a great feeling to see the lamb stagger to its feet and start feeding almost straight away, and to know that it was okay. Then another time, a lamb had broken its leg, and they got the vet in to set it, and he talked me through what he was doing. That was really useful.
Yes, my farm had sheep too. The farm was in a valley, and they had a lowland breed called Suffolks, although the farmer said they'd had other breeds in the past.
So, were they bred for their meat?
Mostly, yes. They're quite big and solid.
My farm was up in the hills, and they had a different breed of sheep. They were Cheviots.
Oh, I heard their wool's really sought after.
Yes, it's very hard wearing, and they use it for carpets.
Right.
I was interested in the amount of supplements they add to animals' feed nowadays. Like, even the chickens got extra vitamins and electrolytes in their feed.
Yes, I found that too. And they're not cheap. But my farmer said some are overpriced for what they are, and he didn't give them as a matter of routine, just at times when the chickens seemed to particularly require them.
Yes, mine said the same. He said certain breeds of chickens might need more supplements than the others,
but the cheap and expensive ones are all basically the same. So, did your farm have any other livestock, Diana?
Yes, dairy cows. Oh, I made a really embarrassing mistake when I was working in the milk shed. Some cows had been treated with antibiotics, so their milk wasn't suitable for human consumption, and it had to be put in a separate container. But I got mixed up, and I poured some milk from the wrong cow in with the milk for humans, so the whole lot had to be thrown away. The farmer wasn't too happy with me.
I asked my farmer how much he depended on the vet to deal with health problems. I'd read reports that the livestock's health is being affected as farmers are under pressure to increase production. Well, he didn't agree with that, but he said that actually some of the stuff the vets do, like minor operations, he'd be quite capable of doing himself.
Yeah, my farmer said the same, but he reckons vet skills are still needed.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
Now we've got to give a bit of feedback about last term's modules. Just short comments, apparently. Shall we do that now?
Okay, so medical terminology.
Well, my heart sank when I saw that, especially right at the beginning of the course, and I did struggle with it.
I thought it'd be hard, but actually, I found it all quite straightforward. What did you think about diet and nutrition?
Okay, I suppose.
Do you remember what they told us about pet food? And the fact that there's such limited checking into whether or not it's contaminated? I mean, in comparison with the checks on food for humans, I thought that was terrible.
I think the module that really impressed me was the animal disease one, when we looked at domesticated animals in different parts of the world, like camels and water buffalo and alpaca. The economies of so many countries depend on these, but scientists don't know much about the diseases that affect them.
Yes. I thought they'd know a lot about ways of controlling and eradicating those diseases, but that's not the case at all. I loved the wildlife medication unit. Things like helping birds that have been caught in oil spills. That's something I hadn't thought about before.
Yeah, I thought I might write my dissertation on something connected with that.
Right. So, actually, I was thinking something along the same lines.
That is the end of part 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 3.
Mana part 3 ham tugadi. Endi buni men izohlab beraman. Izohlashni hojati ham yo'q ekan уже. Hamma narsa aniq ko'rinib turibdi. Endi mana part 4 ni bajaramiz. Labirintlar haqidagi haligi ekan, one word only. Faqat bitta so'z qo'yish mumkin har bitta katakka. A winding spiral path leading to a central area. Labyrinths compared with mazes. Mazes are type of nimanidir turi mazes is needed to navigate through a maze. The word maze is derived from a word meaning a feeling of. Maze so'zi derived from nimada qaysidir so'zdan kelib chiqqan. Labyrinths represent a journey through life. They have frequently been used. Frequently yaqinda. In and prayer. Early examples of the labyrinth's spiral. Ancient carvings on have been found across many cultures. Qadimiy carvings degani naqshga o'xshagan bo'rtib chiqadi-yu, o'sha narsalar. Qadimiy bo'rtib chiqqan nuqta nimanidir ustidan nimadir bo'rtib chiqqan ekan. Across many cultures. Ancient Greeks used the symbol on. Nimanidir ramzi qilib ishlatgan ekan. The largest surviving example of turf labyrinths once had a big turf labyrinths degani haligi o'simlik bo'ladi-yu, o'simlikni zich bo'lib o'sib, haligi manzarali bo'lib, baland bo'lib o'sadigan o'simlik. Turf labyrintlari, o'simlik labyrintlari once had a big katta nimadir bo'lgan deyapti. Had a big, u katta bo'lishi kerak. At its centerda katta nimadir bo'lgan. Hani labyrinths nowadays, hozirgi kunda, believed to have beneficial impact on mental and physical health. Example, walking a maze can reduce a person's insonning nimasinidir pasaytiradi. Rate nimasidir pasaytirar ekan labirintlar orasida yurish. Popular with patients, visitors and staff in hospitals. Patients who can walk can use finger labyrinths made from finger labyrinths degan haligi qo'lda chizib, haligi chiqib ketasi, qog'ozlar ustida bo'ladi. Patients who can walk use finger labyrinths made from nimadandir yasalgan ekan. Research has shown that sufferers experience less nimadandir kamroq aziyat chekar ekan. Research has shown, tadqiqotlar ko'rsatdiki degani. Research has shown, tadqiqotlar ko'rsatdiki nimadandir kamroq aziyat chekar ekan. Unday bo'lsa, qani boshladik. Audioni qo'yaman. Boshqacha rangni yoqib oling, ko'kni yoqsam yaxshiroq bo'ladi. Ana done. 1 2 3.
Part 4. You will hear an anthropology student giving a presentation on spiral path designs known as labyrinths. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
31 to 40 da vaqt berganda 31 dan 40 gacha savollarni o'qib tushunib olishingiz kerak. Juda ham tez o'qishingiz kerak, chunki listening faqat bir marta qo'yib beriladi. Ulgura olmasangiz yiqilasiz.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Labyrinths have existed for well over 4,000 years. Labyrinths and labyrinthine symbols have been found in regions as diverse as modern-day Turkey, Ireland, Greece, and India. There are various designs of labyrinth, but what they all have in common is a winding spiral path which leads to a central area. There is one starting point at the entrance, and the goal is to reach the central area. Finding your way through a labyrinth involves many twists and turns, but it's not possible to get lost, as there is only one single path. In modern times, the word labyrinth has taken on a different meaning and is often used as a synonym for a maze. A maze is quite different, as it is a kind of puzzle with an intricate network of paths. Mazes became fashionable in the 15th and 16th centuries in Europe and can still be found in the gardens of great houses and palaces. The paths are usually surrounded by thick, high hedges so that it's not possible to see over them. Entering a maze usually involves getting lost a few times before using logic to work out the pattern and find your way to the center and then out again. There are lots of dead ends and paths which lead you back to where you started. The word maze is believed to come from a Scandinavian word for a state of confusion. This is where the word amazing comes from. Labyrinths, on the other hand, have a very different function. Although people now often refer to things they find complicated as labyrinths, this is not how they were seen in the past. The winding spiral of the labyrinth has been used for centuries as a metaphor for life's journey. It served as a spiritual reminder that there is purpose and meaning to our lives, and helped to give people a sense of direction. Labyrinths are thought to encourage a feeling of calm, and have been used as a meditation and prayer tool in many cultures over many centuries. The earliest examples of the labyrinth spiral pattern have been found carved into stone, from Sardinia to Scandinavia, from Arizona to India to Africa. In Europe, these spiral carvings date from the late Bronze Age. The Native American Pima tribe wove baskets with a circular labyrinth design that depicted their own cosmology. In ancient Greece, the labyrinth spiral was used on coins around 4,000 years ago. Labyrinths made of mosaics were commonly found in bathhouses, villas, and tombs throughout the Roman Empire. In Northern Europe, there were actual physical labyrinths designed for walking on. These were cut into the turf or grass, usually in a circular pattern. The origin of these walking labyrinths remains unclear, but they were probably used for fertility rites, which may date back thousands of years. 11 examples of turf labyrinths survive today, including the largest one at Saffron Walden, England, which used to have a large tree in the middle of it. More recently, labyrinths have experienced something of a revival. Some believe that walking a labyrinth promotes healing and mindfulness, and there are those who believe in its emotional and physical benefits, which include slower breathing and a restored sense of balance and perspective. This idea has become so popular that labyrinths have been laid into the floors of spas, wellness centers, and even prisons in recent years. A pamphlet at Colorado Children's Hospital informs patients that walking a labyrinth can often calm people in the midst of a crisis. And apparently, it's not only patients who benefit. Many visitors find walking a labyrinth less stressful than sitting in a corridor or waiting room. Some doctors even walk the labyrinth during their breaks. In some hospitals, patients who can't walk can have a paper finger labyrinth brought to their bed. The science behind the theory is a little sketchy, but there are dozens of small-scale studies which support claims about the benefits of labyrinths. For example, one study found that walking a labyrinth provided short-term calming, relaxation, and relief from anxiety for Alzheimer's patients. So what is it about labyrinths that makes their appeal so universal? That is the end of part 4. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to part 4.